The following is not to be taken as financial advice. I am not a financial expert. I'm a remote viewer. In the last episode, we covered Bitcoin. So, okay, we've looked at the good. Now let's look at the bad boy of cryptocurrency. Yes, it's the one we love to hate. XRP. I was blown away by the data from this session. But before we get to that, let's talk briefly about the coin itself. XRP has been around for over a decade, but for many years it's been stuck in a disappointing slump. And it's largely because the US Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, claimed the coin as inherently a security and took Ripple to court. And the case dragged on for years. And once the number 2 coin by market cap, right behind Bitcoin, XRP slipped down the ranks after Ethereum overtook it in 2019. But in the last few days, we've seen a massive resurgence. Now back in the number 3 slot, XRP is even jostling Ethereum for the number 2 position. Is that move even possible? Ethereum still has more than 3 times XRP's market cap. XRP is now well on its way to meeting half of Ethereum's market cap. Ripple's battle with the SEC has taken a most definite positive turn, not unrelated to the announcement of the infamous Gary Gensler, who this past week resigned as the chair of the SEC. Now there's a possibility the case against Ripple will soon be dismissed. The coin is often maligned as being the banker's coin. Is that fair? Well, yes, after all, it was designed for the banking and financial sectors. However, if you're really interested in cryptocurrency for whatever reason, you know fairness really has little to do with it. XRP, like Bitcoin, is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. Whether a particular technology is good or bad depends almost entirely on the intention of the user. That's how I view cryptocurrency in general. Technology that can be used for good or bad. Yes, XRP was designed to facilitate international transactions quickly. But it's important to note that the XRP ledger, or XRPL, is still an open source public blockchain. Despite the criticism, XRP has a large and active community of supporters. They're known as the XRP Army, famous for their near cult-like devotion to the project. With all this in mind, let's proceed to what you're really here for. The remote viewing predictions. Like I said before, XRP's 6-year slump is finally over, and the gains look set to continue well into 2025. The blind session I ran for XRP felt far more intense overall than I usually experience when targeting a crypto. As it happens, the same intensity carries through to the data that informed my prediction for the future of the token. Okay, let's have a look at that session data. These sessions were completed several years ago and published in Book 2 and Book 4 of my Cryptocurrency Remote View book series. Of course, you'll also find them in the title The Top 12. That book I've released a second edition of. It's out now with an extra 3 more top cryptocurrencies in it as I remote viewed them. So there's 15 in the book altogether. In the site template, there are 3 distinct aspects that during the session I place one on top of the other. Starting at the bottom is Aspect X. It's often referred to as the target in a site template. Here, Aspect X represents the XRP ledger, the XRPL, a decentralized, open source blockchain protocol that facilitates real-time transfers of value. It operates independently from Ripple, maintained by the community via the XRP Ledger Foundation. We've got some text data there, thin plates, intricate, and the idea it's viewed as one, and it's finely balanced. And this word estranged. Estranged here means separate from the company Ripple. The aspect is at the bottom of the sketch, reflecting how the ledger occupies the final stage in the process of a transaction taking place. Above it, we've got Aspect A, which appears to consist of the lines established between the nodes along which XRP runs. As sketched in the ST, that's short for site template, these are presented as tightly organized cables made up of strands, with each having a terminal endpoint. There's the idea of power banks and people saying, it's like Morpheus. I also saw the words, keeping industry wired. The phrase like Morpheus brings to mind the ancient Greek god of sleep and dreams, who according to legend lives in a dream world with his family. They are protected by gates that are guarded by 2 monsters. In the movie, Morpheus appears to the protagonist in a nightmare world that turns out to be reality. The real world proves to be the dream. And finally at the top you've got Aspect B. That represents the XRP token itself, initiating the transaction process. Moving on to the ultimate fortune of XRP, In the S6 data, the golden cup symbolises the grand prize in waiting, shining, glowing and drawing strong movements from all directions. XRP is at the centre of strong emotions, and its rise seems inevitable. The trials and tribulations continue to this day. It may not end when the SEC withdraws their actions against XRP, like many commentators in the industry are saying. Legal battles may continue even after the SEC case resolves. But the worst seems to be behind it. Despite agitation and challenges, there's a sense of sure hands guiding this crypto project to success. I conclude XRP is most definitely a keeper. And in case you missed it, there's even the logo beneath, just like the Bitcoin symbol I entered below the rocket on the Essex page for the Bitcoin session. See, here it is. There you go. I've shown you the good, the bad, but what about the ugly? Well, that's Terra Luna. My remote viewing of those three cryptos together constitutes the most unambiguous data I've had when it comes to predicting how these cryptos will be remembered. Well, that's it, another episode over. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below this video. I'd like to know what you think of XRP, and let me know what you think of the data. If you're in the industry at any level, if you're a coder, an engineer, perhaps you can recognize things in the data that I certainly can't. I'm neither of those. Yeah, I'd be really interested in seeing what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe.